Hi everyone, I'm Namrata Kapoor and this is Marketeer in Tech, the Cloud Edition. Today, I want to talk about a critical partnership that marketing needs to form inside any organization. As tech marketers, we need to not only understand our technology, but there has to be a contributing partnership or a continuous interlock that we have with business as well as sales. For example, when you're actually crafting your marketing plan, your marketing overall plan for what you're going to do this year, it is very important for you to be closely interlocked and tied in with the priorities that your business has. Similarly, if you go really down to the tactics that you're executing, if you're doing an event on the ground, it's very important that sales is on board. They buy into the idea of the event that you're executing, the technology that you're pushing, the messaging that's in the market, and actually having them present there so that you can really do the job that you were meant to do. That is, execute on a great event and make sure that the leads pour in. And in that direction, today we have a very special guest who has had roles in each of these fields. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Namrata.
We have Chetan Krishnamurthy. He's the CMO for IBM Cloud Asia. So Chetan, since we've been talking about how important it is for these three lines of business, your organization to actually interlock, and you've had a very interesting trajectory getting you here. Can you talk about your background and how did you get to be at CMO?
Yeah, thanks, Namrata. I think obviously I have a fantastic role in driving a lot of the marketing imperatives for cloud. Obviously, the journey for me has been not only interesting, but it's also been full of learnings. I've had the opportunity, obviously, to start with a pure R&D role, and then getting into product management, and obviously going into a business school, and then coming out doing a little bit of strategy consulting, and then obviously getting into working with leaders here in IBM, essentially looking at business transformation, having led a BU for Watson. Obviously, I've had the opportunity to look at it from multiple angles, and also obviously to learn from a variety of leaders, right? Mm-hmm. So along the way, what it has done for me is essentially to look at intersection of various of these things, right? Which is technology, which is business, which is obviously the customers. And what I think it has given me now is the opportunity to put all of this together. And actually, when we go to market, how do we become more relevant, and how do we essentially become more customer-centric with applications of technology, Namrata? I think that's pretty much been, I think, the way I would sum up this journey, and some of the learnings I've got along the way.
Yeah. Great. Maybe share with us one tip for marketers who are in tech. What's that critical thing we all should be focusing on right now?
Yeah, I think having been through a full-fledged sales role, and for me, I think what is critical for marketing to professionals in marketing to understand is the buyer journey, right? Yeah. I mean, we are talking about technology that obviously is powerful and that can actually give you great business outcomes. And the key here is to understand how clients look at this technology, how that's actually put to use in their environment, and what are the kind of outcomes that this technology can actually give our clients, right? And if you can think of those lenses and actually make it relevant to our customers, obviously, I mean, there is great potential, right? So it's all about putting customer first and putting their buying journey in the middle of everything we do around marketing. I think that's the critical piece to me, right?
Great. So look at the customer journey. That's very important. Right from, right from a learning stage where they're out there educating themselves on what they need to maybe a point where they're going to adopt, right? Correct. And how does the technology actually play into each of those?
Absolutely.
And in the end, making an advocate of them. How good is your technology that the entire journey, they're so happy that they talk about that technology.
Correct, exactly. And there are also multiple personas that you would look at. And some who are looking at it deep tech, some who are obviously looking at it in terms of transformation and business outcomes. So you've got to be able to think of multiple personas, and as you rightly said, and put it all together, right? I think that's the key. Easier said than done, but that I think is the right lens to look at when we market technology.
So nobody can say marketing is an easy job, right?
That's true. I agree.
Okay. So I think coming to the cloud bit, the technology bit, right? Yeah. Could you share with us, in your view, what's the latest, or maybe something specific about cloud that we should be aware of? Where is cloud going?
Yeah, absolutely. I think today's industry, especially enterprise, it's all around hybrid multi-cloud, right? And hybrid multi-cloud gives you the opportunity to be open, to actually have that freedom and to be flexible and agile, which is what businesses want. And now with that, the question becomes, what do you do and where is all of this heading, right? And to me, I think there are two critical things, right? So one is security, right? Mm-hmm. When you're talking about mission critical workloads, business workloads, you can do this with agility and with obviously flexibility, but the key is how do you guarantee that these are actually secure, these are protected, which includes your data, for example, right? Mm-hmm. That's number one, right? To be able to do all of this in a very secure environment and in a secure fashion. And the second one is obviously what you do with the data, which is essentially where application of technologies such as AI, for example, and how do you use those to deliver meaningful business insights and to do all of this with trust, right? That's essentially where I see our industry heading to. Okay. And if you can put all of these together, I think you obviously end up making meaningful impact to businesses and obviously meaningful impact to their customers. And I think which is the primary purpose of technology, I think. So, yeah.
Hey, thank you so much, Chetan.
Thank you, Namrata.
So there you have it. Your Marketeer in Tech tip is business, sales, and marketing has to really interlock and work together. And where is cloud headed? It's secure. Yeah. It has to be data-driven, and the applications has to deliver that kind of insight. Yeah. And cloud needs to be trusted from a trusted vendor.
Correct.
So thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to these vlog series. We'll talk a little bit more about marketing in tech and more about the cloud technology.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.